Hi everyone, welcome back to the farm. So today I'm going to give you 5 things I like and dislike about the John Deere Gator, 5 things I like and dislike about the Polaris, and which one we're going to buy. And mill, making a slightly bigger chip, so there's a point at the bottom. Alright, so over the weekend we've been trying out the new 2020 Polaris Ranger diesel, and then this is the farm's older, it's 2019 John Deere Gator, which we've had, and it's on 1400 hours now, and we're going to be changing it for something else. There are a few issues though, such as the positioning of the battery on Gators has never been great, and it's one thing which has always let this Gator down. Just on the right hand side where the passenger is, the battery is located down here, and it always gets covered in mud and water, and it's one thing which lets these Gators down. So that's one thing I dislike. Also, another problem with the Gators I've found is the belts. They like to chew up belts on these. You must make sure that you use the gears in the right ratios. You've got high range and a low range. Another problem we've had with the Gator is the bearings on them. The bearings seem to go very frequently on the Gators, and it also, as well, we've noticed, it loves to chew belts. So be prepared, if you do buy a John Deere Gator, you will need to go through a lot of belts. And it is quite slow on the road. It goes at about 25 miles an hour, which is around 40 kilometers an hour on the road. So do bear that in mind. It's a slow moving vehicle. It's also got poor ground clearance. That's one thing we found. You'll notice at the back we've got a post because the parking brake is broken on it at the moment, so it's not great. And the ground clearance isn't great either. That's one thing which really lets the Gator down. And I'm a real John Deere guy. I'm a John Deere fan, you know that. But it is just one thing which has let the Gator down when it's off-road. Another problem which we've had is steering racks. We've had a lot of steering racks go, which is a metal component which is inside the front bonnet, and also we've had some problems with the cooling system, which is quite unusual for a John Deere. Maybe John Deere aren't building products like they used to. The quality doesn't seem to be there anymore, and I'm a John Deere guy, and I just feel as though John Deere's taken a long time to make improvements on these Gators, so very disappointing. Another problem which I've got with the Gator is the price. They're very expensive. This one, the new model, we were quoted 28,000 for an upgraded version of this, and it would be delivered at the end of 2023, which is a lot of money. 28,000. You could almost go out and buy a brand new pickup truck for that, a brand new Isuzu. So for something which is going to be checking cattle, £28,000 is a lot of money to spend. So that's one thing I really, dislike, is the price. And yeah, if you're going to be buying these every 4 or 5 years, putting thousands of hours on them, 28,000, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And for how much you're paying as well with the Gator, you would expect the build quality to be a lot better. I've been a little bit disappointed over the few years we've had the Gator. The build quality for how much you're paying, I just don't think it's there. And I wish John Deere would make some improvements on the Gator, such as the battery, such as the steering rack reliability, the fact it chews belts, maybe put a different transmission in. I wish that John Deere would do something about that, but maybe sometime in the future they will do that. One thing I really like about the Gator, the 5 likes, is it's always got a good resale value. You can always sell a John Deere piece of equipment, so that's one thing which is quite good. Another thing is that it's comfortable. It has got quite a good cab, and I do like spending days in the Gator when I'm doing some weed wiping or checking cattle. It's also quiet for a diesel, relatively quiet. Although it's not the fastest on the road, it is really quiet on a day out, and you don't need any ear defenders or anything like that when you're driving it. It's got a reliable Yanmar engine as well. The engine has been good on it. All the things which go wrong on our Gator are related to the transmission and the running parts. So there we go, that's it with the Gator, and we are getting rid of it. So there's a few things I like and dislike. There's a lot of things we dislike, which is a bit of a shame. So moving on from the Gator, we've had this obviously over the last couple of days, and I have really put it through its paces, checking cattle, moving food around the farm, and going down to the Broads over the last couple of days, and it has been absolutely fantastic. It's got a tremendously good ground clearance. It drives really well on the road. It's got one of the best power steering racks I've ever used on a farm buggy. Very light and precise. It's got a higher top speed as well. I can get up to 65 kilometers an hour with this, whereas on the Gator I'm up to about 40 kilometers an hour. So if I need to go down to the Broads, or if I'm going on any long journeys, it is a lot better for that. It's also got a much better ground clearance than the Gator. It's slightly higher, not by a huge amount, but enough to make a significant difference when you're going off-road. It's pretty good. You've got a high and low range, just like the Gator. They're actually very similar in many ways. You've got a reliable Kubota engine in the Polaris, similar to the Yanmar in the Gator, so it's a Japanese 3-cylinder diesel. The ergonomics as well in the Polaris are fantastic. You've got so many cup holders, it's unbelievable. I counted 6. And you've also got a new comfortable cab, which I must say is literally identical to the Gators. And remember, with the Gator you're paying £28,000-30,000, which is a lot of money. So value for money with the Polaris so far is pretty good. I've also enjoyed spending time in the Polaris. It's a really comfortable cab, it's a great place to be, and like I say, for the price, these start from anywhere from £15,000 all the way up to £21,000, depending on how you spec it. This is the Deluxe. I wouldn't have it with these wheels, I'd go for a more basic spec, but as long as I get that higher 65 kilometers an hour road speed, I'll be really happy. The hill assist is brilliant. We did try that out the other day. Although we haven't got any hills in Norfolk, when you do reach a hill or a little bit of a descent, the hill assist is brilliant. Also, Polaris are working all the time to make this product better. They're going to improve it, hopefully. We've already got the upgraded wing mirrors, which are coming in 2023. They're actually the same wing mirrors which are on my Land Rover Defender, so some proven wing mirrors which will hopefully improve the visibility. Very similar actually to what is on the Gator as well, Britax wing mirrors. They also work in, Polaris are aware that the Ranger diesel has been brought out for farmers and gamekeepers, that sort of thing. So they're constantly working with local landowners, farmers, gamekeepers, that sort of thing, to improve it for farm work and for work on estates. So it's looking pretty promising. There was some issues back in the day with wheel bearings going on the Polarises and things like that, but they have addressed a lot of the problems. And look at that diesel. You can run it, of course, on your red diesel tank on your farm. So there's many things to appreciate about the Polaris, and I would advise, if anyone's interested in one, do go and have a look. 6 cup holders, you've got plenty of space in here. It's a great place to spend the day, and not being funny, if you spec one up reasonably well, you could probably get a near-on Deluxe without the alloy wheels with a great cab like this for about £18,000, which is a lot less. I mean, it's £10,000 less than a new standard Gator. So there we are, 5 things I like and dislike about the Polaris and the Gator, give or take. We will be getting the Polaris. It's one of my favourite diesel farm vehicles. We're hoping to get one in mid-March if we can, before we turn the cattle out in April. We've got the Gator over there, which is now going to be sold in the next couple of weeks. We have been using it up until this point, but now there's just too many problems on it which have been going wrong, and it's too expensive to keep running it, so we've decided to invest in a new buggy which is a little bit cheaper and hopefully it's going to be a bit quicker on the road and more reliable. Leave a comment in the comment section which one you'd like to see on the farm, and with that, tomorrow I'm going to be at Llama over in Birmingham, and we're going to be looking at a new straw blower. With that, do give this video a thumbs up, go and check out the Cramp stand, and we're also going to be heading on to the Manitou stand and to many different stands tomorrow, which I will reveal when we're there at Llama. And if you're going tomorrow, I'll catch you at Llama. If not, I'll catch you on the next one. Click here to subscribe to the channel, and click here to watch another Olly's Farm video.